Hey guys, went on a date today. Sorry, just had chocolate donuts for desserts and dim sum for dinner. I love those Chinese dumplings, Chinese dim sums. It's too bad they're so expensive, like three little things for like $4. I don't know. But anyway, had a pretty good dinner with my friends today, and just want to say that even though uh, even though they don't really do game, but one of them is, well, my friend, he is very good at sexual framing. And without getting too analytical about it, it's basically just telling sex like it's kind of like flirting and using sexual innuendo. He's very good at that. Like, he'll make anything sounds dirty. And it was me, him, another guy, and a girl who's a friend of ours for a really long time, since high school. So we were there, and usually when I only hang out with this guy, man, we kind of joke around and doing a lot of sexual innuendo that makes pretty much no sense at all. And the other guy and the girl, they were just looking at us laughing, and they were like, what are they laughing about? And both of us, we were like, you know, you don't want to know what we're laughing about because it's so dirty. Like, we were eating donuts with cream. And the thing about this donut is you have to inject the chocolate or the caramel, depends on what you order, and you have to inject that into the donuts. And he was telling me like, hey Jack, you like injecting those thing, right? That's what you do best. I was like, what are you on about, man? I know what he's talking about, but it's just so ridiculous that it really only takes a certain kind of dirty mind to come up with that. And there were cream on the side of the donuts, so he told me that, oh wait, I told him that, hey, enjoy those cream? And he's like, oh yeah. I was referring to cream pie, but I think he got that for sure. And anyway, so like we like to do these sexual innuendos all the time, which is why I think when I hang out with him, I could like get into that natural sexual flirty states. And I've seen him with girls. He's pretty good. I would consider him kind of natural. And I feel like if he learns a little bit of this pickup stuff, he could be very good at it without getting very analytical. So that's why I like hanging out with him. He's just fun, and he brings the vibe to the girl. And today, I also went on a date as well. I feel like this girl is very inexperienced. She's doing her first year in the university, so, and just from the vibe I was getting from her, she was very nervous-ish. I remember, it's very subtle, but I remember I was sitting kind of at a right angle next to her on a square table, and when my leg was touching her leg, even though we were just talking and stuff, she kind of moved away a little bit in the beginning. I was like, okay, even though it might be nothing, but it shows me that she's not very comfortable yet. Plus, she was playing with her hand a lot, so that was a good sign that she was very nervous and she doesn't want to probably move things too fast. And I have dealt with this before. Actually, I dealt with it last week when I was going out with this girl, and I did my usual process. We had coffee, talked for an hour, and we went for a walk. And on the walk, built a good vibe, holding hands. And then she told me it's moving too fast. I'm like, what are you talking about, man? We haven't even kissed. And yeah, and that was that. And then today there's this girl who I would say is very inexperienced as well, because when I started talking about like relationship, high school crush, or I didn't even lead to sex or kissing because I feel like that's not a topic she's comfortable with. And I know that because some girls just not comfortable talking about it simply because they don't have any experience doing it. So a great way to screen out, or great way to tell if a girl is very experienced is just to ask them about their fantasy or their sexual experience, just by asking them like how was their first kiss or how was their first time. You can kind of gradually lead to more sexual stuff as you go, but start out with the easy stuff, like stuff that you could talk about with your friends really, and it's really not that big of a deal, but it sets the right tone that you are a sexual guy and you're comfortable talking about sex. Now, what do you do if a girl is not very comfortable talking about sex? Then focus on building connections, because at the end of the day, that is still the most important thing in your interaction with a girl. Because I have certainly in the past talked way too much about sex and all that other stuff, and I thought I was doing well because I was getting some kind of reaction, but then I realized that it's not necessarily something you have to do. You have to calibrate to the girl. Now I say if the girl is very open to talk about this kind of stuff, and you bring out good vibe when you're talking about it, like you're non-judgmental. If she feels like you're very judgmental when you talk about it, like when you say, oh, so how was your first kiss? And she said something like, I don't know, such a long time ago, blah blah blah, and you start judging her for kissing too many guys. You might not say that, but you always have to realize, you always have to be aware of how you feel, because when you feel tense, and when you feel like you're judging the other person, like subconsciously or even consciously, you're thinking about it, you're gonna get that vibe across to her. And today, I also want to talk about the other thing that is creepy vibe. Like today, I was experimenting around trying to talk without emotion and trying to talk like with a bland face that's kind of no expression at all. And of course I didn't do that on the date. I did that when I was with my friends, and I don't know why. Like I have moments of high energy and moments of low energy. And so today when I was making a joke, I was just kind of like serious face, bland face, and because we were talking about whether they should come to my place or not. And the girl was teasing me that I had something to hide in my room. Of course, I had nothing to hide except like some boxes of condoms on my, what do you call it, bedside drawer. Yeah, but they're not gonna look at that anyway. So I was saying a blank face, like, yeah, of course I got so much shit to hide. You just have to come and check it out. Like no smile, nothing. And she was like, that sounds very creepy. And I was like, fuck, it did sound very creepy. And that's what I realized. Whenever you realize you have a creepy vibe, it means you are either taking shit too seriously and you just can't, you have like a stick up your ass pretty much. And you just can't talk about things for the sake of fun and just joke around and make up bullshit. And I also want to talk about a text message conversation I had today. And I was with this girl who I talked to a few days ago. And a few days ago, she told me she took like more than 12 hours to answer my message or to reply. But I didn't even notice. So she was like, oh, I'm going through a breakup. I'm not really in a place to date someone, blah, blah, blah. And at that moment, I'm like, cool, whatever. We could just have a good time, no pressure, no expectation. And if you're not at a place to meet new people, that's fine. And I think she responded very well to that. She's like, oh, thanks for understanding. And yeah, that sounds good. And then I proposed, okay, let's hang out this weekend, which is today and tomorrow. Or I texted her that yesterday. And she texted me today, but blah, blah, blah. Okay, what time? I'm like, okay, Sunday afternoon. Let's meet at this cafe. And she was like, I don't really like that place. Could we please go to another place? Now, during our initial conversation, she was telling me she was going to grab lunch at that place, so I assume that that's the place she usually goes to. So she must be like a regular customer around there. And then I was thinking, usually when girls start telling you that they want to go to that place, you have to be aware of that, because even though I'm not really trying to date her or anything, but I don't know, I just want to leave things open. I don't want to shoot myself in the foot in the beginning. So usually when girls tell you that they want to go to that place and they don't want to go to that another place, if they rejected your offer to go to the other place that you want to go, well, she said she didn't like that place, and she was asking me if I mind go to the place that she usually goes. And at that moment, I've been through this so much, and I know that if I agree, I will lose my frame in the pickup term, or I don't know. I don't even know if it's losing your frame. It's just that whenever you start dating on the girl or seeing the girl on her terms, it makes her more like the leader of the interaction. The dynamic of the interaction changes. Now this girl is, I think, very confident just based on our initial interaction. But then I'm like, fuck that, I'm not going to that place, because based on my past experience, I've never moved things forward with girls once they start leading the interactions. Once they start telling you, oh, they want to go there, they don't want to do your stuff, their compliance or investment just goes downhill from there. Now, it was pretty ironic that the place she mentioned, the name of the cafe she mentioned, was also my ex-girlfriend's nickname. So I just used that to joke around, like, yes, I do mind. That place reminds me of my ex. Like, the name of that place reminds me of my ex. Let's go to the other place instead. I had to compromise, and I always have like a second place in mind, just in town, just when I know where to take girls for instant dates. And to be honest, the place she mentioned was a bit too far, even though it's like 2-minute walk, but I still don't want to go there based on the reason I mentioned previously. So I texted her that, and she's like, ha ha ha, sure, I've never been there, so that's a change. I was like, cool. And that wasn't too hard. And the thing I want to point it out was, if you're a guy coming from scarcity, when a girl counter offer or declined your suggestion for a place that's close to your home, close to your apartment, it's very important that you kind of negotiate, suggest another place, and don't fall under her lead, because usually it's not very conducive to the seduction. Even though I'm not really seducing this girl, I thought that was a good practice to have. And honestly, I feel like I need to have more female friends who are good looking, attractive,